Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Breakfast Express show. Like I always say, it's a delight to be here with you. Um, and I always also say that, it's like we never even went home because I don't know what's going on. Time just seems to be, too short. It seems to be compressed, if you understand what I mean. So it's like we never went home because how many hours did we really spend at home? How many hours did we get to sleep? And how come we're back so soon? Time really flies. But the one thing that keeps me going is the fact that I know that I'm going to come here for you and you're going to be there, to cheer us on. So, yes, I'm excited to be here. I'm delighted to be here. I thank God for the gift of life, my life, your life, our lives. And I thank God for the gift of my voice. Welcome to another outing on the Breakfast Express show on MITV Plus. Okwayemi Akiode is very much around.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. 149 days. I promised you that once we remember and this camera rolls, we give you the countdown to the presidential and national assembly election. So, the campaign started yesterday, and if you look at the pages of the newspapers already, you can reflect that we've really moved into the campaign period in Nigeria. Good to have you join us on the show. Good news, some not so good news, but we'll always have everything for you every single day. You're welcome.
Okay, we'll take a regular break, and when we return, we'll be looking at the newspapers. Yesterday, we couldn't do too much because we had a lot of calls back to back to back to back. We couldn't even take the banner headline for one newspaper, hoping that we'll be able to do so today. But let's see how it goes. We'll take a regular break, and when we return, we'll be looking at the newspapers. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Excuse me, ma. This your
You're welcome back. I'd like to start with the Punch newspaper, as usual. That's the regular. And the above the nameplate 30 months after subsidy removal, federal government spends 30.6 trillion and saves 15.8 trillion. Well, the writer for that story is minimum wage allowances swallowed subsidy savings. This is coming from the finance minister. So the minimum wage and the allowances swallowed the savings from the subsidy because, they said we saved 15.8 trillion naira, but the minimum wage and the subsidy, cleared everything. Subsidy, yeah, cleared, no, minimum wage and allowances cleared the subsidy savings. So we've spent 30.6 trillion. It would have been nice, to have, a kind of report, to substantiate these figures that we can see or that we're reading right now. Something to say, okay, so 30 months after subsidy removal, federal government spends 30.6 trillion naira on A, B, C, D, Z. And, we saved 15.8 trillion naira, but we spent that money on minimum wages and allowances, and this is how it was spent. It would have been a fantastic thing. Okay, what do you think?
Well, so the bottom line is that we've saved 30,
15,
45. That's no, we've saved that's almost 46 trillion
Yeah.
in 36 months from subsidies removed. So if you said we have spent 30.6 trillion and then we have saved 15 trillion, if you put that together, that's 45. That's almost like 46.1 trillion or thereabout that we have saved. So how much is the minimum wage to start with?
70,000 naira.
Okay. what is the workforce that we have in the country? How many people get the minimum wage? How many people are on the federal structure? And so I like accountability, and I like
That's what we're saying,
I
yeah.
like what Mr. Taiwo Idele is trying to do. There's like a town hall meeting, but they call it the economy scorecard. I think they rolled it off yesterday. And because election campaign has started already, right? Started off yesterday. So it is easier for the oppositions to question, and it is the responsibility of the ruling party to defend. So I'm not expecting the ruling party to come out and start telling us, this is what we want to do. I expect the ruling party at this point to start coming out and tell us that this is what we have done. And that's why I always say that in a campaign, the ruling party has all of the advantage in the world, because the opposition don't have the level of attention that you will get from the people, because the people have already trusted you with a mandate for 3 years plus. They expect you to come and present your scorecard. Do you understand? So I'm looking forward to the campaign pattern of the All Progressive Congress going into this election, because the way ADC would campaign, the way NDC would campaign, the way AAC would campaign is not the way the APC would campaign. APC by now should not be campaigning. They should be giving us account of stewardship. They should be giving us what they've done in the last 3 years. If you've made over 46 trillion saved from subsidy, you said you have kept 15 trillion, you have spent 30 trillion on minimum wage. Minimum wage swallowed 30 trillion. Do you understand? But why are we still borrowing? Why do we have this so much debt at home that we are struggling to contend with? So I'm saying is that I will wait for every other ministry, because I think the scorecard series is every ministry would have to come on certain days and then address the press. And I like what they are doing. They're also taking questions. Do you understand? So the pattern at which they want to do this is a bit interesting. On that same story, you will still see how they are moving the recovered loot from EFCC, how they are diverting it into their fund, how they are using it to do one or two things and all of that. So I think this is what the APC wants to, how they want to pattern their campaigns, that why the other opposition are saying, oh, this is what we want to do, this is what we want to do. We as the ruling party
will say, this is
you,
what
these
we
are
have
the things
done.
that we have done. And if you trust us enough to give us the next 4 years,
We
these are
will
the things we want to do. So campaigns have started. And this is probably, obviously, the economy is always going to be the curtain raiser. The Minister of Finance is always going to tell us that, okay, this is what we have saved, this is what we have at the moment, this is how much we have recovered, and let's see how much progress we can make from here. But I'm not convinced.
But my point, my own, how I see all of this is, did we have to get to the point where, people start to campaign, where the ban on campaign is lifted before we give accountability? That's my point. My point is,
if I've told you since January, will you remember now?
No, but honestly, I will remember, because the one thing, if I can't remember the figures of where, I will remember that this government has been credible enough, to, update us, on a regular basis. So whatever it is that they're telling us now will obviously be accepted hook, line, and sinker, because we've already taken it for granted, or we would have taken it for granted, that it is a government that's so accountable that it doesn't matter whether it is coming during campaign now or not. But now anybody who looking at it will say, oh, they're doing all of this because they want to come back for the election. And these are the things that we talk about. Nobody has anything. Well, I don't know about Okwe. I don't have anything against the ruling party. I don't have anything against the federal government of Nigeria. I don't have anything against the Bola Ahmed-led administration. I don't. But what we're saying is that all of these things that we recommend on the table is that it's supposed to, help and assist them. Like I always say, we are the ones that are closer to the grassroots. We hear what the people are saying. We know what they want, and we bring it to the table through the newspapers more often than not, to say, this is what the people feel, just in case, our leaders don't have the time to read newspapers, even though we have been told that the president reads the newspapers. And sometimes, we argue that can it be the same newspaper that we're reading, because we don't get the reaction that we expect to get, if somebody read the same newspapers. Anyway, that's on a lighter note. But, to be serious rather, I would have expected that this is the kind of thing that should have been done on a regular basis, not because, it's time to campaign. Because there's a tendency for people not to take it seriously, you know. Okay. Okay, do you agree?
I agree with you. And I mean, if we, load everything into one, we probably will not even have enough time to break it down. Because I actually want more details. I
Yes.
want you to tell me how minimum wage swallowed 30 trillion. Do you understand? I want us to know, when we increase the minimum wage to so and so, because obviously it had to go across board, right? Okay, this was what we are spending in specifics.
Yeah.
30 trillion is a lot of money, too. Is
Yeah.
a whole lot of money for you to just give me that blanket, conversation around, oh, these are is done. But again, sometimes they will say it's better late than never. But when it comes to accountability, there's nothing like it's better late than never. If this was done periodically, maybe every quarter, do you understand? There's a lot of things that you probably will, model up into one that will have been broken down into more details. Oh, for the first quarter, we spend 11.2 trillion to service our debt, to also, pay minimum wage,
To
to also make
kickstart
sure
the
that we
refineries.
refineries. In the second quarter, this is what we've done. And in the next quarter, from now to December, we are targeting so and so trillion to be able to do this and this and this. Do you
Okay,
understand?
if they had done that, they will not need to
They
do
will
too
not
much
even
of
need to be
campaigning.
doing all of this scorecard, door-to-door.
That's what I'm saying. It's
feel,
all in their
I
interest.
feel governance itself is a campaign.
Yes,
Do you understand?
exactly.
Governance itself is a campaign. When people
Exactly.
see roads, when they see infrastructure, when they see security, when they see improvement in the lives, in the quality of their lives, when they feel like, oh, there's an economy that is thriving, I'm starting a business, my business is growing. That alone is campaign. You are
Yes.
literally living the campaign process. So what is going to happen when the campaign proper starts is you're going to start asking questions. Oh, 3 years ago, are you better this year than you were 3 years ago? Yes. So give me another chance to continue to improve the quality of life. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Governance itself should be a daily campaign, so that we don't wait as ruling party and then we just load everything into one, because you have only 2 hours to do a scorecard, and then you have only 2 hours to report what you've done in 3.5 years. Do you understand? Governance, good governance, dividends of democracy is a campaign on its own. When people can move from point A to point B without having to drive their car because there's effective public transport system. Do you understand, Tom?
Yeah.
When people can afford to go to the farm safe and they are coming back safe. When communities in Mongu are not burying 25 people that were killed day before yesterday, the local government of the state governor. So leadership itself is it's a daily thing.
Yes, it's a continuous thing.
When we say countries that are working, we are not saying that those countries don't have their problems, but they've been able to prioritize the welfare of their people.
Yes.
Even the poorest of the poor can still afford food.
Yes.
The basic of it.
And you see, the thing with word of mouth, for even those who cannot read the newspapers or don't have access to radios or television
They can
sets,
feel it.
they will feel it first of all, and then people, how they talk. They said the government did. They said they're going, it just keeps going on and on and on and on, and then the people will be hopeful. Listen, there's something so powerful about hope. Hope gives you the joy that you have not yet received, though, from outside. It gives you this
just have
internal
that feeling that this thing will come.
it's coming. So it makes you a completely different person, that, okay, the wait is not going to be too long. It's something is going to come, because the government has said, that this money that they've saved from subsidy, they're going to be bringing it to us at some point through this project. You understand? Maybe through agriculture,
So they're
maybe
waiting.
through, so they're waiting. And in waiting, they're not disgruntled. They're not angry. You know what I'm saying? They will muster that inner strength to be able to move on.
Just hang in there.
Yeah, just hang in there until it comes.
That cannot happen if there's no trust.
Yes.
If government at different times fails to hold on to their commitment, that kind of hope cannot happen.
So that's what I'm saying, that if in the beginning
There's been that trust.
there's been that, so it will
If
be
I tell you I'm
built. They
coming
would
back
have
in
trust
5
in
years,
them. Yes,
I will come.
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
And just to buttress your word of mouth, yesterday I was on my show, and somebody put a call through that what exactly do people benefit from government that is 76 years old? He knows that anytime soon he will die, but what does he get as senior citizens in the society? That they don't get free healthcare, they don't get free eye check, they don't get free medication, they don't get this. So people like that, If you just woke up one day, there's a government program, there's a government intervention, and then you go to that community. We're not talking about those haphazardly done eye surgery or whatever during campaigns. Like a proper structure where a man knows that on the 25th of every month, I'm walking into a center, I'm diabetic, I'm collecting my drugs for diabetics, and of course, maybe there's a supplement that the government provides from every month. As an elderly person, when you know that that thing is coming consistently, you want to keep that government in power.
Of course.
Because you know that, oh, so this government, despite the fact that I've been out of the system for so long, I'm in one remote area where there's no network, so governors can still meet me in that place.
Yeah, you know, I was listening to the radio the other day, and there was this advertisement about, I think it's a conference or some sort of gathering, for retirees, people who have retired. They're going to have counselors, counsel them. They're going to have, free health checks and all of that. And in my mind, I'm saying to myself, I would like to go, to attend this thing so that I can see what exactly is going on there. But I can assure you that, you see, at a certain age, one could become very lonely, and you need this kind of association, this kind of, I won't call it networking like that, but, to be with people, of your age range, who are passing through the same thing that you're passing through, that will lighten whatever burden you have, on your heart or in your heart. So I think that, programs like this should be organized by government, through whether at the local government level, at the state level, or at the federal level. But I think these kind of things will encourage, the elderly ones. Look, in my opinion, the elderly ones, to me, are just like babies, like babies. The way you treat babies, sometimes you treat them, you give them this extra care. They need some warmth, they need some love, they need some affection. And even when they're, together with their spouses, they're kind of alone. Because the loneliness that comes from within, thinking about, oh, I have attained the age where, death would come anytime. Grace has spared me, to this age. So these are some of the things that they think on a regular basis, and they're not able to share with anyone. They're not able to express to anyone. But you see, when they see other people, they're kind of happy. It helps them, it gives them a longer life, if that's the best way I can put it for now. So, I think that the government should be more conscious, in listening to the voices of the people, the murmurs, the complaints, all sorts of things. Just pick these things up and, see what you can do for them. Okay, we're still on the Punch newspaper, and President moves EFCC recoveries, 242 billion naira unclaimed dividends to Nelfon. Okwe just talked about that right now. Tinubu orders further forensic probe into fake agency scandal. I think I want to go back to that story. President moves EFCC recoveries, 242 billion unclaimed dividends to Nelfon. And I know you mentioned it, you talked about it in passing, and I think we should talk about it in depth because it's one of the good things that our president has done, and I don't want to feel in my mind, because my conscience is, I don't know. It just keeps, if I don't talk about this, I'm not going to find peace in myself, because, I mean, this is one thing that he's done, and I think we should talk about it. We should celebrate it. Yes, we shouldn't be begging for things that we know that he should do, or the government should do for us, yes. But if it is done, let's say thank you and let's celebrate, and appreciate. So I think this is a step in the right direction. And thank you to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well done to the entire team. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I also like the fact that funds are, constantly made available. I think the NEL fund is one of the how do I put it now, the projects that the Tinubu administration is very committed to. I was watching the scorecard meeting of Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, the Minister of Finance, and then one of the journalists was saying that, my children, I have 3 children in university, that if you say 1.9 million people are benefiting from NEL Fund, how come my children are not benefiting, this and that, and none of their friends are ever benefiting? And I like the way Mr. Oyedele responded. He said, listen, I hope you have trust in your children. Go and ask them. Hope they are not collecting NEL Fund and they are still collecting money from you. And secondly, say, go and ask also that, did your children apply for NEL Fund? I understand the fact that it's a loan that you most likely pay back, yeah? But the fact that it takes that burden, that heavy responsibility of your parents having to, struggle through life and then struggle you through school, even though I feel like we can still expand the coverage more, even though I also feel like more people can be brought into it. I also sometimes hear complaints that, the payments, the stipend is not coming in quick because the monies don't go into the student account. The monies are going into the university account straight, but their stipend comes into their own person. I think 20,000 or so every month. And, I know it's a token. It's almost nothing. But if you understand that the stipend itself is a gift, it is the main payment and the tuition that you will pay back, then you know that you're almost within the dragnet that the government is providing social insurance schemes are for. Do you understand? So I think yes, we can do more with the NEL Fund. We can expand because I think we have more than 11 million Nigerian students. So if we say we are capturing 1.9 million, the number still looks a bit small. But for a system where we are still trying to improve on, and I like what the presidency are committed to this NEL Fund. That listen, funds will never be a problem. You've always complained that all of these looted funds that you are recovering,
what is
not a looter continue.
Exactly.
Or you are not continuing with the looting. So they made it clear now that, listen, you see the money that we are using to pay NEL Fund,
and I'm really
impressed. It is coming from the recovered EFCC loot. So it's not like somebody somewhere is stealing the money or we don't want to be accountable for it. See, I know it's too early in the day. I mean, if you look at the campaign started yesterday, but yes, we're going to also consider everyone coming up on board too. But I'm really looking to how the APC want to push out some of the programs that is not really as popular as a lot of people will say.
Yeah.
And I've always said it. A lot of restructuring needs to be done within the information managers of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Fact is this: I travel a lot across the country. I'm probably one of those people that still, love to travel by road. For some weird reason, I just know that no matter how far I travel in this country, no evil can happen to me. I just have that feeling that I cannot be kidnapped. I'm just going to go in and come back safely. So yes, when there are opportunities to fly, you fly, but all those short movement. And I can tell you for a fact that the level of road infrastructure that is going on in this country is unprecedented. And I'll tell you, put the numbers on the table.
Yeah, but we don't see these things in the
That's
papers.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's not even my job to put it out there.
I'm just trying to buttress what you're saying.
The people managing the information of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs to do a whole lot more
work
beyond attacking people on social media or threatening or blocking people. You need to sell what your principal is doing. I went to Ondo Town just a few weeks ago, and one of the most scary part of that trip for me is between Ore and Ondo Town. Because of that deployable that road, you cannot even travel on that road by night. The last time I was on that axis stone, I had to make videos. I was like, wow. The quality of the road, the layer, the lappings, and I'm like,
there is been fixed now.
Yes. You can literally drive from Ore to Ajebandele to Ondo Town in less than 25 minutes.
Are you kidding me?
Do you understand? And across board. So I think that's why I said that I'm waiting for what the pattern of the
campaign
of the All Progressive Congress, and that will be determined by who becomes the campaign DG.
Okay.
Because the responsibility is spread. So I like what I'm sorry. I like what the president is doing with the NEL Fund. I think we can do more, but for now, it looks sustainable. Even though some vice chancellors are reported to be doing some hanky-panky, inflating some of the figures. But the most important thing is that there's a scheme that looks sustainable, and I hope it to be institutionalized so that it does not end with this administration, whether after first term, if they are lucky, they secure a second term, so that subsequent government will commit a certain amount of money into the NEL Fund every single year. It makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense. I mean, 100% agreement with you, Okwe, but we also have to look at the downside of this. The downside of this, may be the system of corruption that we already know exists, even in our families, even in our neighborhoods, in our communities, in our states, in our local governments in the country, corruption has eaten really, really, really deep. And there's no explaining, because the words that we have in the dictionary cannot explain the level of corruption that we have in Nigeria. No, I haven't seen the words that can explain that level, how deep it is. So, fantastic idea. Fantastic idea by our president. And some of the things we say on the table is that, don't they go out and see what is happening in developed countries? Yes, this is one of the things that our president has seen and knows and perhaps has benefited from and has brought home, so that we can run it successfully and sustain it. Now, that is a good thing. But they also have to make sure, and the they now are the people who the president has entrusted this project, to uphold. They need to be honest about it, because I remember one of the programs, we had a call and someone said that their child has not benefited from this thing. And I remember it was on the 29th of May, we had the youth leader, Dikpo Daramola
Dikpo of Lagos.
Of Lagos, yes. And we were talking about this now, and honestly, some people are complaining that it's not getting to them. I hope it has not become a man, no man thing. So where am I going? I'm going to what Okwe said about the man who complained that he has 3 children in university and they have not received anything. Yes, on the one hand, we have had children who would collect money and not mention to their parents that they have collected money. And for me, that I know about a case in America where the children collected money, and didn't tell their father that they collected the money. And the man has to pay back the money. Now the children are working. They're not even looking that way, because it was the father that signed the document in the first place.
He's the one paying.
So he's the one who has to pay. Now, that could happen. We can't rule that out. But also, I honestly hope that whoever is in charge of handling this thing would handle it well, without fear or favor. Still on the Punch newspaper, Tinubu orders further forensic probe into fake agency scandal. I don't know, but let's just keep our fingers crossed that whatever probe that they're going to do now is going to give us something and not waste our time, because right now, as far as I'm concerned, that case is dead.
It's cold.
It's dead.
It's cold.
Okay, the banner headline for the Punch newspaper, thank God we got there today. 571 billion naira campaign spending limit for presidential and governorship candidates. The writers for this story, Tinubu, Atiku, Obi, Makinde, and 15 presidential candidates are allowed 190 billion naira campaign spend. New Electoral Act sets 500 million naira ceiling on individual donations. INEC says it will monitor campaign spendings. That's good. 127 governorship candidates get 381 billion naira campaign spending limit. Electoral advocacy bodies urge strict compliance. Okay, I think this is a good thing, that there's a peg. They're pegging, there's a limit on the amount of money that can be spent during election. But again, we come back to square one. How are we going to monitor that this is the exact money that they're going to spend? The people who are going to be, put in place to, ensure that not more than the stipulated amount is spent themselves, are you sure that at some point they will not compromise? So this is a problem that I have. The problem I have is not a problem of the federal government of Nigeria or Federal Republic of Nigeria. No, that's not the problem I have. The problem I have is how diligent, how how truthful, you know, are we going to be in carrying out this responsibility? And I'm talking about the watchdogs, the people, you know, watchdogs, not in a derogatory manner, but, you know, for want of a better word, the people who are going to be monitoring, the monitoring team. How are they going to behave? How have they decided that they are going to serve Nigeria in this capacity? I don't know, but I don't know what Okwe feels.
Yeah, I think the rules are very clear. There are limits to which, to how much you can spend as a president. The Electoral Law 2022, amended 2026, captures everything. From the president to the governor to the senators to the reps to the assembly, there are limits to which you can spend. But just like you said, who monitors this thing? So ideally, though, after every election, political parties are supposed to submit, their account for audit. That's what political parties are supposed to do. So INEC's responsibility is that, okay, we check the books. How much did you raise for campaign funds? How much did you spend on mobilization? How much did you spend on publication? How much did you spend for logistics? That's what political parties. It is not candidates that are supposed to submit reports to INEC. It is political parties that are supposed to submit the campaign reports to INEC. But the truth is this: how many political parties have done that since 1999 when we go back to this election? How many political parties have called INEC to say, in the process of this presidential election, we were able to raise from donation, from open fundings, from candidate commitments, we were able to raise 400 billion. And this is how we spent it. We spent 100 billion for publicity. We spent 200 billion to produce polo and shirts. We spent 100 billion to buy cows and gift souvenirs that we shared for party members. That is exactly how an election should be. If you look at the United States system, see, I always say that when we are copying things, we should always learn to copy both the good and the bad. If possible, improve on the bad, and of course, implement the good. If you look at the United States electoral system, there's a way that every single donation is monitored. If the donation is coming from so and so group, it is coming from so and so foundation. If it's coming from so, okay, I think we have a call.
We have a call on the line. Good morning. Welcome to the program. And where are you calling from? What's your name as well?
Okay, I'm calling from Bayelsa State.
Ooh.
Calling from Bayelsa State, Chief Oweva.
Chief Oweva. Okay, you're welcome, sir. You're welcome, Chief. Welcome to the Breakfast Express show. You want to make your contributions?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
We are talking about the elections. I think so.
Yes, sir.
These elections that have been concluded in Osun, where the federal government has sent about the central governors to also senior president, and is that not corruption? People who are not going to even vote, you send it there. What is the reason of sending people like that to a state where it does not concern them? Is it not corruption? What are the reason of sending governors who are not from that state to go and monitor elections? It's not a corruption.
Thank you, sir. We will address that shortly. Thank you so much.
So let me just rush through the
You
campaign
want to
provision.
quickly address him? His
No, it's a tradition that we've come to embrace, and it didn't start under the All Progressive Congress. They call it solidarity support, where governors will move en masse into states where it's one of their own that is holding. And we've seen it. Every state set up situation.
But how was this one the solidarity support?
And that's what they call it now.
The APC governors went
there to support the candidate of their party.
Of their own party.
Yes,
okay.
That's what they did.
Okay.
That's what they did.
Okay, quickly run through because another call is coming in.
Yes, so let me just give us the limits to which you can spend according to the 2026 newly amended Electoral Act. So, under the repealed Electoral Act 2022 as amended, presidential candidates used to have 5 billion as maximum spending expenditure. But the new law raises the ceiling to 10 billion for presidential candidates. That means as a presidential candidate, you are not supposed to spend more than 10 billion in your election. It also raises the governorship candidates from 1 billion to 3 billion. That means if you want to run for presidency, now you spend 10 billion from 5 billion. As a governor, up until now, you can only spend 1 billion to run for governor. Now it's been increased to 3 billion. Let's quickly sneak in, pushing that call real quick.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Well, I can hear you. What's your name, sir?
My name is Paul Wachiko
Paul, where are you calling from, sir?
from Ogun State,
Where in Ogun State?
Ajuwo.
Ajuwo. Okay.
That's Akute side.
Akute. Okay. Yeah, you want to make a contribution, sir? Oh, we lost Mr. Paul.
It's going to call back.
Okay.
And the law also raises spending threshold for other elective offices. For the Senate, you can now spend up to 500 million for campaign. Usually the limit was 100 million, but for the Senate you can now spend 500 million. And for the House of Representatives, it was 70 million. Now it's been increased to 250 million. And for State House of Assembly, the campaign ceiling has been raised for 30 million for House of Assembly as candidates. Now it's been raised to 100 million. And for the local government chairman, it was moved from 30 million now to 60 million. Do you understand? So that's the why for councillorship, it was 10 million, it was 5 million before, now it's been moved to 10 million. So as a presidential candidate, you are not supposed to spend more than 10 billion. As a governor, you are not supposed to spend more than 3 billion. As a senator, you are not supposed to spend more than 500 million. As a reps member, you are not supposed to spend more than 250 million. As a local government chairman, you are not supposed to spend more than 60 million. As a councillor, you are not supposed to spend more than 5 million. Ideally, Tom, that is how it is. But let's go back to what the presidential campaign entails so that we would understand if 10 billion is actually workable. First off, to collect nomination of interest from your party is 100 million.
Let's take this call, please. Hello?
Hello,
Good morning, sir.
good morning.
What's your name? Is that Mr. Paul again?
No, it's not Mr. Paul, this is Bamidele.
Oh, okay, Mr. Bamidele. Good morning. Where are you calling from, Mr. Bamidele?
I'm calling from Ipaja.
Okay, go ahead and make your contribution, sir.
Okay, I just want to talk about the just concluded
Osun elections, okay.
So what law states in Nigeria that governors are mandated to go from another state to like influence election in other states? Is there anything like that in this Nigeria?
Did you get the question?
No, there's no law.
There's
no
no law
that
like-
says they cannot go as well.
Yes, I got your question.
The governors going to Osun State, what are they going there to do?
Oh, yeah.
There's-
So Okwe just answered you.
There's
He
no
said
law
there's
that
no law
prevents
that.
them from going there.
that's-
They just say they are going for solidarity.
Did you get his answer? Okay.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah,
Like I
I'm sure he
said,
did, Mr. Bamidele.
let's not really dwell on these governors or no governors. So we've seen it every time on campaign ground. We see all of them. It's just to galvanize support. See, like I always say, on this table, we don't preach morality. This is not a moral compass. It is where we discuss things as it is. There's no law that says governors should not travel to states to support one of their own during campaign. Every single political party has done it from 1999 till now. Is it right? I'm not in a position to say it is right. As long as it does not contravene the provision of the law, then being right or being wrong is relative. For APC people, they will say, the more the merrier. Oh, people want to see the Senate president. People want to see the governor, especially governors that their state shares boundaries. There are Kogi people that live in Osun. The governor of Kogi can come and address the Kogi community in Osun State and say, I'm in support of this person. Vote for him. He will represent our interest in this state. On those state people that lives in Osun, they share border. On those state governor can go in and say, okay, my Ondo people here, you have been law abiding, but this candidate can make life better for us. Like I said, constitutionally, there's no provision that says governors cannot travel to support one of their own. Whether it is morally right or wrong, I'm not a moral judge. But they've not done any crime. They've not committed any crime by doing that.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, my sister.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Uche calling
From Abuja. Okay, go ahead and make your contribution, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Ma, I want to ask you and Mr. Bay one question, please. I need answer from you people.
Okay, sir.
This issue of investment in this country, looting, I don't know. There is something I heard from the Senate, and that thing is bothering me. That whether from CBN, that about 200 and something trillion is missing, and Senate were aware of it. Is it right or it's not right? That so money is missing. And if it is right, what is our Senate? What are they doing? And what are they talking about that money? Because that kind of money, my sister, I don't know if that kind of money, if we have it in our country, can't we use it for something? Can't it go a long way for us? 200 and something trillion that have been looting in Nigeria, and the leaders of Nigeria kept quiet. The president number one in Nigeria kept quiet, and they are just trying to sweep that case under the carpet. Where are we going? What is happening in Nigeria? And another one, I want to call the people of Nigeria. This election that done in Osun State is teaching us a big lesson now. It's high time all of us to rise up. Enough of all this kind of, I don't want to say wrong thing in your station, all these kind of things that are happening. We youth have to stand by our right. Let us stand and protect our vote, because all these our fathers, all these our old fathers, we call our leaders. They are not leading us well. They are destroying the future of our children, unborn children. They are destroying their future. Because I asked one question in this your station: what are they teaching the youth of Nigeria coming out?
Okay.
Whatever we are learning now, we are learning it from them. We are learning it from all this our old fathers. Anything you know the youth of Nigeria are doing is from all this our fathers.
All right.
We need to stop all this.
Thank you so much for your contribution. All right, Okwe, you want to quickly answer
Yes.
him briefly?
And I think what his concerns are very valid too. And that's what is causing the issue between Senator Godswill Akpabio, the president of the Senate, and Senator Adams Oshiomhole, on the reason that why would over 200 trillion allegedly be missing, and you don't want them to invite the senator, the people in charge to appear before the Senate. Adams Oshiomhole keeps saying that issue warrant arrest on these people. There's a constitutional power backing the Senate to perform oversight functions. And when the Senate is out to perform these functions, anyone they invite, including the president, that is summoned to the floor, whether the open Senate or on ad hoc committees investigating these issues, you must honor the invite. Whether you are the head of custom, whether they are in charge of NNPC Limited, whoever you are in the law, under the law, you must honor that summon. And then the president of the Senate is saying that we invite them, but the Senate committee in charge keeps inviting these people, keep calling these people, and they are not honoring the invitation. Do you understand? The guest asked, the caller asked that if this money is in Nigeria, they said the money is missing. That means we don't know if it's in Nigeria or it's stacked up in some investment in Dubai or in the United Arab Emirates or wherever it is, where these guys steal our money to go and invest. But I think the Senate needs to understand the power backing its own responsibilities. So if you summon people, we've seen where the Senate has summoned custom DG in this country and has refused to appear. And nothing was done. We've seen where the Senate has summoned head of department and agency in this country too, and they have refused to appear. We've seen this country where Senate has summoned ministers in this country and they have refused to appear. Some of them will even send representatives, and the representative cannot even give a valid answer to the questions that they are being asked. So if you are saying that allegedly over 200 trillion is missing, can't we invite the people that are supposed to give us an account of how this money has been spent? Over 30 years ago, when late Chief MK Abiola was campaigning to be president, he said he was going to unbundle all of the criminality going on in the NNPC. Fast forward to maybe like 30-something years after, we're still talking about the NNPC. Whether they privatized it or whether they make it a public liability company, the criminality going on in that particular agency of government needs to be properly investigated. But why is the Senate preventing that investigation? That is my question. Adams Oshiomhole keeps shouting that there are thieves in the leadership of the NNPC. Let us invite the leadership and come and tell us that if you have been making all of this money over the years, what have you used these monies for?
Okay. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Am I in 100% agreement? Maybe 98%. The 2% I'm going to be talking about right now is the Adams Oshiomhole himself. Now he has become the Adams Oshiomhole that we used to know. The one who is asking for accountability. The one who knows that, you know, monies are missing and that a panel needs to be set up, investigation needs to be done. He's now a changed Adams Oshiomhole. But I'm saying that Adams Oshiomhole, you know, taste from the system of corruption. Yes, he did, you know, because he himself was not accountable, you know, to the people of Edo State, you know, when he was there. You know, the way that one would have expected that he would, coming from the background that he has come from. So my question is now, you have become the watchdog, okay? But you can't set the ball in motion. If it was the Adams Oshiomhole that I used to know, we wouldn't be where we are. No, the fact that he knows that these monies are missing and things are not being done, I know Adams Oshiomhole, he would take it to highest heaven. But one mention, two mentions, you know, here and there, and then it dies down, and then you bring it up again. You know, unfortunately, I'm not too sure that he himself is not overwhelmed by the corruption in the system. You see, but he's walked that path as well. Yes, so much is missing from the system. You know, we must find out what happened to the monies. But the truth is, okay, I've told you on this table, time will recover these monies. Time will unfold the people who have taken our monies, where our monies are. We've talked about this thing on this table before, and I remember making this same statement that time will unfold, because guess what? The Senate president at some point will no longer be the Senate president.
Even
he will become a common man. Okay, if he's best, he's made a minister, he's made an ambassador, he will need to account. At some point in life, he will account to Nigerians and tell Nigerians why he shielded, you know, this investigation process.
So even if they don't account to us, nature will take its course.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't ask the people that refuse to account
to us. Where are they?
The wealth that they stolen, they left it behind. When you go, you are not going.
Exactly.
If you like build
very, very unfortunate and very sad.
Build a bulletproof house. Buy all of the cars you can imagine in this life. The moment you are gone.
You know why God? You know why God is? You know why God? People have to realize the fact that there's a God. It's because he cannot be bought. He cannot be bribed. He cannot be corrupted. You know what I'm saying? So the truth of the matter is that which he has set from day one must happen. Is a debt that we all owe. We can't change it. Perhaps money could buy it. I tell you, Nigerians would live forever. Nigerians who can afford it would live forever. Let me tell you something. When some of the best cars, you know, as they are, in fact, Nigerians are on the waiting list to be the first set of people that receive these cars. Nigerians will pay for anything. They would wait. They would be on the waiting list. I remember when my children were in university, Nigerian politicians will come and they will pay for 4 years, 5 years for their children's school fees. You know, so Nigerians
God forbid bad thing. Children are not even sure if they will live long. If they will, the years are paying that.
Exactly. Hello, good morning. Yeah, welcome to the show. What's your name, sir? Okay, so, well, it is what it is. That's the way of Nigeria. And it's not a good thing, but it's what is happening anyway. Okay, we continue with the Punch newspaper. And I see another call coming in. Hello, good morning.
Morning, madam.
Welcome to the show. What's your name?
My name is Apostle Joshua.
Welcome. Where are you calling from, Apostle?
I'm coming from my club area.
Okay, Lagos. All right. So go ahead and make your contribution, sir. And very quickly, because another call is trying to come in as well.
I'm always burdened when Nigerians are always silent over the criminality of the politicians. The criminal act of embezzlement of Nigeria's money, which is our wealth, will be the future of our children, children. Then I can begin to see that people will be silent over all these things. I don't think it is the right way. And then the senators who are the lawmakers, both the House of Representatives, even the state House of Assemblies, and the senators and the House of Representatives, they are not making laws to handle the criminality that these politicians are committing. It is what that Boko Haram, all these things they are doing. So it is important also, the media should also be hammering on it as we're doing it today. Hammering on it, let them make a law, capital punishment for any politician that embezzles so money because it's ruining Nigeria, bringing Nigeria to stand still. Even in the Bible, anyone that commits such crime will be stoned to death. We are trying to be too strict for all these politicians, and they now began to rub on top of our heads and be robbing and be going free with billions of naira, building in Dubai, building in Africa, in South Africa, building in London, making us to be fool. It is happening.
I feel your pain, Apostle, but we have to go now. Another person is trying to call. Okay, we'll address your contribution. Oh, we lost that caller.
They make a law for capital punishment for them.
Thank you, Apostle. All right, so okay, capital punishment. I agree. That's what's happening in China. But the question is, who will bail the cat? He who is not guilty, can he cast the first stone? Let him cast that first stone. Now, when you cast that first stone, then you can make the laws. But the truth is that corruption eats deep, my brother. Nigerians are not keeping quiet. Some of us are making noise on the table, on our shows, in our offices. I can imagine that you will be making noise on the pulpit, but who's going to listen? Who's going to take it up, sir? Who? We don't have arms. So we can't fight this war. We can only fight this war with the words that we use. We're limited. There's really not much we can do. I don't know if Okwe can do anything beyond what he's doing. We wish for what you've asked, because if we have capital punishment, then Nigerians will stop, But I don't know who's going to start it. Hello?
Hello.
Good morning, sir, and welcome to the show.
Good morning. This is Uwefa again. I'm calling again.
But you have to be very brief, sir, please.
Okay. This issue of corruption in the politicians, I would have suggested that the NGOs or civil service,
civil society organizations
sponsor a bill whereby any politician that has more than a particular amount after office should be held responsible. How can a politician, single politician, have 1 trillion, 20 billion in their accounts, except you are a businessman? So if we really want to check corruption, we should make that type of law. Even if you have left office and a particular amount more than what is stipulated for you to have is found in your account, it should be charged.
Okay, sir.
That's my yes.
Thank you very much for your contribution. All right, we lost there was another call trying to come in, but the question is this again. Did these people declare their assets? Do you understand what I'm saying? I know it could, if we really want to, we can find this out because we can just go to the accounts, look at the dates, and so on and so forth, and inflow, outflow, and all of that. But who's going to do it, okay?
I mean, there are reasons why we have lawmakers, and it is commitment. But when the people that are supposed to make these laws are also guilty of the things
That's
they
what
want
I'm
to
saying.
make
You're
the
coming
laws
back to what I'm
so
saying.
I'm
How
going
is
to
it going
make
to
a law
happen?
that will mean that if I steal money, they should kill me. And
Meanwhile,
I'll be the one to make that law.
Meanwhile, I have
steal money.
no, not I will. I have stolen money.
I will not make that law that
I
will say
don't
they
know
should
how
go and
that
force
will
my head
work
publicly,
exactly.
or they should blacklist my entire family.
You will bring it down to the barest minimum so that it's not going to affect you.
We will not even discuss the matter.
Exactly. Hello, good morning. Hello. That's it. They won't even discuss the matter because
that's what I always say, Tom. That we have a system in this country where the people benefiting from the rot of the system are the ones made to fix the rot. So it's a case of conscience. Oh, if I fix this problem, my own excess flow would stop, but the larger society would benefit. But because Nigerian politicians always want to be in control every time, they won't make those laws.
Okay, good morning. Welcome to the show. What's your name, sir?
My name is Steve Black.
Huh. Steve Black. Good morning, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Mowe.
Mowe. All right. Yeah, go ahead and make your contribution.
Am I on MITV?
Yes,
You are. You need to turn the volume of your television set down because there is a delay. I can hear that, I can hear your television set and you will get confused. So, okay. Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and make your contribution.
My contribution is that at one time when President Bola Tinubu was not yet the president, he was campaigning vigorously and he was saying that Nigeria should kill corruption before corruption kills Nigeria. Now I'm very surprised that he's now the president and the corruption is now worse under his nose and he's not doing anything about it. Look at the Senate president blocking senators from inviting NNPC to come and account for. We're talking about billions of naira here. That money is enough to set Nigeria rolling. So I don't know what President Bola Tinubu is doing now. My question to him is that now he is not willing to kill the corruption, or is he ready to kill the corruption before corruption kill us? That's my question to the president. Thank you. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much. I mean, I really love that. Very brief, and smart. Well, a big, huge question. We have asked this question ourselves on the table, that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who used to fight, who was part of Nadeco,
yes,
who was part of Afenifere, who used to be in opposition of certain things that the government, the ruling parties or the government in power were doing, who would talk about, corruption, getting rid of corruption, eradicating the corruption, improving the economy, and so on and so forth. We have asked the same questions. Is it the same man that we're speaking about? Is it the same man that we're looking at? Nobody is saying that he's corrupt. We have not said that because you don't allege things, when you're not sure. You don't have any proof. You don't have empirical evidences. We're not that careless to say things like that. But what we're saying is that under his administration, a lot of people, we can see corruption, we can smell it. And, people are asking questions, why are certain people still in this administration? Why is it that, they're not, brought out, they're not brought to book? Nothing is happening. Nobody is doing anything. Nobody is saying anything. And Mr. President, we expect so much, but all of that is not happening. And we have asked ourselves the question, what's happening to Mr. President? The one that we used to know when he was Mr. Governor, the one that we used to know when he was in Afenifere, the one that we used to know when he was in Nadeco, fighting for MK Abiola in 1993. What happened to the same Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who's now Mr. President? What is going on? We have asked the same questions that you're asking us. But guess what, sir? Nobody has answered us. So we have reached our conclusion that, time and chance changes, defines people and their characters and their behaviors. Perhaps that's what's happened to Mr. President. Just perhaps, because we really don't have a definite answer to your question, because nobody has given us an answer to that same question that we asked. Perhaps Okwe knows.
I don't, though. And, when we say let's appoint or let's elect people based on their precedents, and then we make such choices, because build up to the 2023 election, there was a lot about, the architect of modern Lagos, he redefined Lagos, he gave the Lagos master print, Lagos is the model state in Nigeria, this and that. So the expectations were really big. The same way in 2015 also, Buhari was supposed to be an anti-corruption crusader. He was supposed to be an anti-corruption Caesar. He was supposed to be the man that will be ending insecurity, a retired general. He knows everything. He's not corrupt. His hands are clean. He does not have multiple houses. He does not. So there were a lot of those expectations that we went into those elections, and those are significant elections for us. First off, the fact that the PDP had been ruling for 16 years, and they were battling one of the most the craziest security problem we've had in the history of this country. So it was a significant election that we had to make a choice based on the personality and the promise of better days ahead. And we flopped our lines in 2015. And I'll tell you that the 8 years of late President Muhammadu Buhari today will remain one of the darkest years of our democracy. They say you don't speak ill of the dead, but the moment you hold political office, you lose some leverages. Because if you perform well, we're going to be here on this podium to ask lyrics about the things you've done. And if you do not do well, I don't care whether you die well or you don't die well, whether you die young or old. We will see scrutinize what you've done, because you put off yourself for public scrutiny, whether living or dead. So when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was coming in 2022, this one is that one, he did this one, he gave Lagos a template, he did this one. But look at where we are. My uncle said something a few years ago, I think about a year ago, so that if President Tinubu had not won an election, we would have said he was the best president we never had.
Correct.
Now that he's won the election, what was sold in 2022 into 2023, can it still be sold again this year too? So, campaign started yesterday. What they said about he made Lagos, he fixed Lagos, he established Lagos, can we still say the same thing today? If you sold that agenda that was people bought in 2022, if you sell it now, would anybody still buy it? Do you know how many Nigerians have died in the last 3 years plus too?
Oh my G. Oh, that's really...
Just day before yesterday.
I know.
Just day before, 26 people were killed in Mongu.
Yes.
The local government of the governor of Plateau State. A family lost 7 people from the same family. 7 people were massacred from the same family. In the same Mongu local government. Under the watchful eyes of an APC governor.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
My name is Pius. I'm calling from my 12.
Okay, Mr. Pius.
I want to contribute to the last caller.
Okay.
If you are a leader and people under you are corrupt, what do you think the public will think about you as a leader?
Okay.
That is my question.
Okay. Unfortunately, the last caller may not be able to answer the question, but we'll try to look at it, and give value for
So
what...
you're as good as the company you keep. If you're a leader and people are corrupt under you, are also corrupt.
They say, show me your friends,
See,
and I'll tell you who you are.
That's the answer
it's
to
as
that
simple.
question.
Show me your friends, and I'll say,
or as bad
because
as the company you keep.
how do you thrive? You understand? How do you thrive, being friends with people who are corrupt and you're not corrupt? At a point, and I'm saying this because I've experienced it. I have all manner of friends. But you see, some friends I can't be too close with or too. Certainly because our lifestyles are not the same. I'm not, the kind of flamboyant person they would want me to be. I'm not living the life, if you get what I mean. I'm just taking it in my stride because I have a background, that has already put me on track. and not where I am now would I be derailing. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, I'm not able to be too comfortable with such people. You won't find me in their company all the time. But yes, hello, once in a while. How are you doing and all of that? But you won't see me there day in, day out, day in, day out. By the time you see me somewhere, day in, day out, all the time,
there's a legitimacy around where you are.
You know, yeah.
It's as simple as that. Yoruba says, Enire Shulaja. The person that stole yam from the barn and the person that received the yam, you are both banned, you are both gang of criminals.
Yeah, you're both guilty.
You are set of thieves. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's as simple as that. If you're a leader, especially when you were elected as a leader, then you appointed those people around you.
Exactly.
You cannot. So if as a president you were appointed, then people you were elected. Then people also elected the governor. If the governor, I'm not saying in Nigeria's context, I'm not saying that if the governor that's stealing money, you can say that I was not the one that elected the governors. You people elected them for me.
Yes,
so,
now.
But the people you appointed
yourself,
that you submitted their names for scrutiny, they screened them, they profiled them, you assigned portfolios for them. You should be accountable to them.
Yes, because you're the chief guarantor. What are you talking about? You're the chief guarantor.
So if you have people,
guaranteed them.
If you have people working under you and they are stealing from you, is either you are nonchalant or you are irresponsible,
you're turning a blind
or you
eye.
are lackadaisical about it. Somehow, 90% of the time, some of the leaders know what the people under them are doing.
Of course. Look, listen, it's not everything that you see that you say. Even with our children growing up, there's certain things you see. It's not like you don't see people, but because you don't say these things does not mean you didn't see these things. So in this circumstance, more often than not, the leader knows what his subordinates are doing. Now, if you see that these things are wrong and are not healthy within that circumstance, it is incumbent upon you to take action. Else, you're part of the gang. That is as simple as that.
And that's why they call it a gang now.
Yes.
It's not a one-man mopo.
Else you're part of the gang. That's the answer to that question. And I hope we've done justice to it for you, sir. Okay, still on the Punch newspaper, pension row. Ex-servicemen suspend protest under have a protest, and we were appealing on their behalf. These men have worked and they've risked their lives for this country time and time again. Why are we owing them their pension?
I hope the assurance is assuring
now
enough.
The minister has come out to assure. We have had promises and counter promises, and promises failed, promises not kept, time and time again. So many that they're uncountable. We can't count them anymore. The numbers have skyrocketed, from one incident to the other. Promises have been made and promises have been broken. I hope, and I keep my fingers crossed, and I'm praying very hard that this is not yet another promise that will be broken, because I hope that somebody's conscience is telling the person, that you can know no peace until these people have, been attended to, until their pensions have been paid. Because if it's going to be one of those empty promises, these men will gather to protest, and people will join in that protest, because we all have brothers, we have uncles, we have fathers, we have elderly people in our homes, and we feel the pain because we know that they're not as productive as they used to be. You see a human being who was extra productive, and they can't, they're not as productive as they used to be anymore, and you don't feel any pain in you, then you don't have a conscience. But if you do have a conscience, then I think that you will join these people to protest, peacefully, whether verbally, whether physically, in any way, because we all have elders in our home. And some of us are getting there, if you ask me. Okay, I think that's the much we will be taking from the Punch newspaper this morning. We will go on a break right now, and then when we come back,
Yeah, we're
we
going to
can
be
take
coming back, and then we'll go straight up to Guardian newspaper when we return.
All right, so we'll take that break right now, and we'll be right back. Peace.
In Biggie's house, there's no place to hide. And even when you think no one is watching, the energy can swing in an instant. This BB...
You're welcome back. This is Okwe's tough right now.
Yes, let's look at the Guardian newspaper, and I can assure you that we will not spend much time on this Guardian. Anytime Tone is taking our dailies, we can analyze everything. Me, I'll just read the stories, and then we'll move on. Okay, I talked about the unfortunate killing that happened in Mongu a few days ago. Let me take us back a little memory lane. The executive governor of Plateau State, Excellency Governor Barrister Kele Manasseh Mufang, was the former local government chairman of Mongu. In fact, that was probably the only major political office he held until he became governor. And when he won the election, and then there was an APC government of former Governor Simon Bakola along, they truncated that particular election, and then they cancelled that election. So he didn't spend up to 2 years as the chairman of Mongu local government. Then when he came back, build up to the 2023 election, he came to campaign and he won. And a few weeks or months into his administration, trouble started in that same Mongu. So you know that they declared a 24-hour curfew in Mongu, the local government of the government. I mean, if you can't protect anybody else, let's say you cannot protect any of the local government in Mongu, for Kwampan, to Shandam, to Barikin-Ladi, to Haipan, to Jos South, to Jos, you cannot protect all of them. Your own local government, your own Mongu local government is not safe. Just on Sunday, though, a community was attacked overnight. They said it was attacked by the Fulani militias. And then they killed 27 people.
Was it 27 or 28?
Maybe 27 or 28. So I saw the report yesterday from my friend Kemsey. I even shared it. He's a journalist. He was in the village and he interviewed those people. There's a man, a family of 8. They killed 7. He's the only one left in his family. 7 people from the same family were slaughtered unprovoked. And the only thing you would hear is, we will bring the perpetrators to book. I don't know how big that book is. That the book is not full till now. And then they will now pay condolence visits. And then they will present rice. And this one and that one for them. And then the cycle continues. Every single time, Tom. Every single time. I was talking to the chairman of the Irigwe Progressive Union, IPU, some years back. And he said even the journalists are complicit in this problem. And I said, how? He said one of the problems we have as journalists is that we pick the stories that we report. That on daily basis, people are getting killed in Plateau State. 1, 2, people coming from the farm, they attack them at the farm, slaughter 2 youths, slaughter 3 people, slaughter 1 person. But until it becomes a big story, maybe 50 people, 20 people, that's when the media will now decide to jump on that story. I feel really terrible about this. And I'm always asking, what do you gain as a governor if you belong to the All Progressive Congress? Look at Kwara, for goodness sake, Stone. Look at Ekiti, for goodness sake, Stone. Look at Borno, for goodness sake, Stone. Look at Plateau. All of these states are APC governed states. So what do you tell the president when you meet the president? Do you tell him that, Mr. President, my state is safe? And when the president opened the page of the newspaper and they see that 30 people killed, 25 people killed, 19 people abducted, 11 people murdered. These are human beings, too. We're not talking about cockroaches here. We're not talking about mosquitoes here. We're talking about human beings, lives. And the next thing they'll do, they'll pay condolence visits. Is it not the same Plateau State that a community was attacked in Jos North? And the governor went inside, he addressed the people inside an armored tank. The governor stayed inside an armored tank to address the people of Angola community.
Was it not the same Plateau State?
Yes,
that the
it was the same incident that the president left. He turned back from the airport.
You know, so
26 people have been killed in the local government of the governor of the state.
And I really wonder if that governor thinks that the people, you know, would ever vote for him, you know, for anything.
You know, in 2023, Tom, and I'll say this anywhere, Governor Mufa was not the most popular candidate on the ballot. The current APC national chairman Professor Nentawe Yitwada was the APC candidate in 2023 on the plateau. Yitwada was the former resident electoral commissioner in Benue. Well loved, well accepted, very young, dynamic, he related to the people. But they didn't like the fact that he was running on the platform of the APC. That was why they voted for him. Guess what? The chairman of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu campaign organization was the then governor of Plateau, Simon Bakola Long. He could not win his state for the president. Peter Obi won Plateau State. He could not install his own successor. PDP won in an APC state. In fact, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu could not win Plateau State, where is the DJ of the campaign. In fact, he lost his own senatorial seat. It was the court that removed the PDP senator that won the election and gave it to the person that came second due to technical issue within the primaries of the PDP. Do you understand, Tom? So you're looking at, do you know why I picked on this story today? Because it's one of the stories on the front page of the Guardian. How do you go into a village, Tom, and you slaughter 27 people? 7 people from the same families. I saw all the dead bodies there. Mutilated bodies, Tom. Human beings, lives. You just kill them.
Well, the question is, how did we get to where we are? Did we bring this man in based on, precedents that had been set? Had we looked at his track record? All of these things are very important. It's just like when one wants to get married, they want to know the home that your spouse, your proposed spouse, comes from, because honestly, the home has a lot to play, with the character traits and the attitude of the individual in question. And likewise, you see, we need to be fact checking. We need to be doing our investigations before we go to the polls and stand and say, this is the person we're voting for. We need to close our eyes to those bags of rice, and the 5,000 naira and the groundnut oil that will just feed you for a couple of days, And the truth is, if you eat rice in the morning, afternoon, and night, for 3 days, you're already fed up of rice. So why are we going to sell our 4 years for a bag of rice? Even if it was for a pot of porridge, like was done in the biblical days. It doesn't make any sense, really, because that is giving you a fish. It's not teaching you how to fish. So we need, you see, when I look forward, I look backwards. Whatever leaders that we have, is a function of the people's, thought processes, the people's attitude, the way the people reason. We have some of our leaders have been placed there not because they have anything to go by, but just because we've received something in exchange. So does this man really deserve to be the governor of Plateau State? I can't say yes and I can't say no, but I'm asking a question also to the people who have put him there. Now, are they satisfied with the kind of governor that they have? Is another question. Now, given the same opportunity, will they vote for this man who cannot even take care of his own local government? See, Okwe, there's nothing else for me to say. I'm just analyzing what Okwe said. Okwe has given us the facts, he's given us the figures. The man is like, as far as I'm concerned, he's a northerner. So when Okwe speaks, when he talks about the north, when he gives you the figures, I don't even bother to argue with him. But all I am doing is taking from what he said and analyzing it, hoping that some other person, people in Borno State, will do the same thing, would analyze, look at this thing, that is this man really worth our salt? He can't protect. It means that if bandits come to his house, he probably would only try to save himself. He won't be able to stand on behalf of his family. Because they say the morning tells the day. Your own local government, you can't do anything for them. You can't protect them. And look at how people have lost their lives. And you're going to say the same thing, just as Okwe said. We will bring them to book. I'm not going to ask how big the book is, because I don't even want to know. Because this book, does it even exist? That's my own question. I'm not even asking how big that book is. Where is this book that you keep talking about? Because once it has been said, it is, talk is cheap. And we know the people who talk cheaply. It's so unfortunate that 20-something people had to die, had to lose their lives in a local government where the governor comes from. And this is not a one-off thing. In this same state, people are dying on a daily basis. and he just can't be proactive. And you call him a barrister at law.
No, the fact that he has even been a chairman of that same local government at some point is what still baffles me. At least, no matter what, in an election, one would expect that no matter how unpopular you are, at least if you are sure of a vote from one place, it should be from your home, which in this case is always your local government. So I'm wondering, every single day, is it that you don't talk to the Meangwa, you don't talk to the king, you don't talk to
It's not
is it
nice
that you don't
at all.
talk back to the people?
Why do people
home?
die like this?
If you cannot protect the people from your own local government.
And it's not the first time, it's not the second time, it's not the 10th time, it's not
I
the 15th,
said
under his administration.
Months into his administration, 24 hours. Okay,
I don't know what the people are doing. Can't they impeach the governor if it's necessary?
Let me bust your bubble, Tom. One of the finest.
Must we wait for the next election?
One of the finest permanent orientation camp of NYC in this country.
Oh, you told me it's named after him.
It was my set that opened that camp. Very beautiful. The landscaping was awesome. Standard pitch, beautiful hostel, fine structure in that place.
You said it
over 2
already.
billion was spent to build that permanent orientation camp. One of the best in the country. Guess what? For about 2 years now, that orientation camp is not receiving core members. They are using Waye Foundation, a privately owned facility inside town that belongs to the wife of the former governor of the state. Because bandits have taken over the NYC orientation camp. There's a community called Jakatai before you get to the Mangu town. That is where the orientation camp was situated. They have abandoned that camp. Nobody goes to that camp. Prospective core members are reporting to Waye Foundation in Jos South. Do you understand? The same local government of the governor. Weeks into his administration, a curfew was declared because people were killed in their numbers. And it's not like nothing had happened between then and now. We are talking on this one because we are talking about the numbers of people that were killed. Even in a war situation.
I told you that I spoke to a friend of mine who lives in Jos.
I'm not even sure, Tom, that in a war situation, the war between between Russia and US is going into its 4th year. I'm not sure there's a single day in a war situation where 27 people were killed at once.
It's something. I mean, if that's all we talk about on the program today, you know, I'm satisfied. It's really very sad, and you know, I don't know why we do this as Nigerians. If we see that a governor is not capable, you know, me in my little way, I keep talking about the Ogun State governor. I don't know what other people are doing, and I honestly don't know what he's still doing there because he's not really functioning the way the Ogun State people want him to function. We're not seeing the things that he's really doing. And this is not a personal thing. People are complaining. You could see the number of calls we got yesterday from Ogun State alone. There are other states that are neighboring states. There's Oyo State, there's Lagos State. Nobody called us to say that, oh, is this bad in Lagos State? Only one person called from Oyo State.
If you use 2 hours to take calls from Ogun on a day, so I'm sure that 95% of those calls will be complaints of what the governor has
not done. So this is not us saying these things here. We're saying based on, you know, what the feelers that we get. But you see, Nigerians don't understand that we put these people there and we can take these people out when and if we want to. And the Ogun State governor, you know, is a saint. Where
compared to where other governors are.
To where other governors are.
I'm telling you for a fact.
I'm not joking. Look at the governor we're speaking about.
You know the funny thing about this
I know that Dakwa Abiodun, if people were dying in Ogun State the way he would do something.
It can't happen.
It won't happen.
You know the funny thing? If you look at the city center, just south, all of those places, they look relatively safe. If you look at those villages where they are killing people, it's not like they have all the good things of life. Some of those villages don't even have electrification. Those people are just farmers. They are just farmers. Let me just go to my farm. Some of them are collecting loans to buy fertilizers. So it's not like life is even good for them. It's not like they're feeling the impact of government. They just want to live, and they're still killing them every day.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Welcome to the show. What's your name, sir?
I'm the same Toye from Giwa.
Okay, you're welcome. You want to make your contribution very brief because there are a lot of calls trying to come in as well.
Madam, you and Kope, I don't like the way you are discussing this Ogun State issue. Please, I've called you, I've told you, I said, when you have party, just call Dakwa Abiodun. can never perform anything. Why is Ope laughing like that? I don't like this thing.
You got me at first.
Honestly, you actually
got me at first.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you something. To govern the country, to govern the state, it's not an issue. It's just a matter of policy. Once you have your policy, this is what you want to do. Okay, a room at the palace self-contained going to 800,000, 1 million, and the minimum wage cannot carry it. And the government did not know what to do. So it's just a matter of policy. Are you getting it? It's just a matter of just policy. Netanyahu was telling Trump, only let me fight Iran. They know what they have. We don't have, if Benin Republic comes to Nigeria now, they will beat all of us. All of us. We will start running. So thank you so much, man.
Thank you very much for your contribution. You know, so when we're saying some things on the table, we're just telling you what people feel. I mean, this man just came. I mean, he narrowed it. Yeah, he got me at first. He just narrowed it down to a party. That's that's where a governor would function optimally. Come on, you know, these are the things that we see and we hear. We see, we feel, we know, and we hear. You know, and we say these things on the table. We're not partial. We're not partisan. We have absolutely nothing against anybody. No individual. No. But we're feeling these things and we're saying it and nobody's listening. Hello? Hello? Good morning.
Good morning, my sister.
You're welcome to the show. What's your name, sir?
Yeah, Uche calling back.
Oh, Uche is calling back.
There is something I want to ask again.
Okay, but quickly, sir.
Yes, Mommy. This Nigeria, our country. I am asking the president of Nigeria, because why I am asking this question, this thing is very painful. And if I think, I say, our leaders, these people are learned. There is one thing I want to ask. They are now ruling us. During their time, they go free education. They attend free education. Why is it that in Nigeria, we are paying huge amount for fees, for school fees? Why is it that Nigeria poor people cannot go free education in this country? Why is it that we can't have free education? And another one, why is it that the whole roads in Nigeria, for example, just move from Zubaya to Benin, if we are going to Benin, is very, 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 very bad. Very, very, very bad. People that are bringing goods from those areas to Abuja, they find it very difficult. What is stopping our leaders to fix all this important road for Nigeria? What is stopping them? And we have been making budget for this road, this Lokoja to Abuja.
Every year.
Make the budget of this road for more than 2 times before he leave office. Then that is how they have been doing. All the presidents that have been coming to this, that have been ruling us, they have been putting this road for budget for more than years. Since 1999, this road has been like this. From Supaye to Benin, from Benin to Delta. Delta, they are bringing oil. The heartbeat of Nigeria. The heartbeat of Nigeria. People that are bringing fuel to this Abuja, they find it very difficult to pass. What is stopping Nigeria leaders? The president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what is stopping him?
Fixing that road.
This Lokoja, Benin, Delta, what is stopping him to fix that road? To put that road in order? We never talk of Lagos Ibadan Express. That road has been in budget since 1999. Nobody is answering anybody question because they say president immunity cover him. Once he left office, nobody can call any president for question. What is happening in Nigeria? Is that how to rule
Thank you.
a country?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Nobody will give account of how he rule the country.
Thank you for your contribution, Mr. Uche. We will address that right now. Look, what he's saying is something we talked about yesterday. We don't ever want to complete projects, you know, and when we see that there are projects that have been done, you know, that need repairs, we're not looking that way. We want to start. We're talking about Sokoto, Badagry way, but we're looking at look at this local jar. Yesterday we talked about roads. That's how we ended the program yesterday, and we seem to be going that route again today. You know, because people are complaining, why are the roads so bad in Nigeria that you cannot move freely? And you see, these bad roads are helping, you know, the kidnappers, they are helping the armed robbers, they are helping all these
and because
miscreants.
you cannot run.
You can't speed
fire.
on
You
the
have to
roads.
slow down,
You have
there
to
are
slow
potholes
down.
everywhere.
So I think that the government needs to be looking inwards. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration comes back again, I think it's one of the things they should look at. And if we have a new leader in Nigeria, you know, I think it's one of the things that they should look at. So we can start to shout about these things now, so that in the next dispensation, somebody is looking at these things, because they have heard, you know, the people are saying that they're tired of having bad roads, even within Lagos. I told you about the Ozumbambadiwe road.
Yes.
The Omole Ogba Burger axis is an eyesore. It's, you know, anytime I'm on that road, I feel so embarrassed. You know, what is the Minister of Works doing? Because it's not everything that we will channel directly to the president. The Minister of Works, what's he doing? He's there being so disrespectful to women and to journalists, you know, being really disrespectful in every way that he can. I think he should be more on his job, facing his job, doing his job, and giving Nigerians a run for their money. That's what he should be doing. The Minister for Works, this one is for you. You know, we're calling you out today. Minister for Works, you should be on this one. I remember Engineer Keisha used to be, you know, the representative, but I understand that she has been changed. Somebody else is now there. You know, and that's the way it is with the government. You know, there's always a change, you know, an upgrade, you know, someone moves and someone comes and all of that. But honestly, I think that something needs to be done ASAP. All right, Okwe, do we still have time?
Yes, I think we can still squeeze in. Let's just flash through the front pages of a few of the newspapers.
Oh, are you done with the Guardian?
No, we're not done.
Okay.
I'm not even sure we picked it.
Okay, let me just take this call.
All right.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm Salome calling from Jos Plateau.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank
And we
you.
almost
Thank you
didn't
for
take
this
this
call.
call.
Thank you for this
call. We want to hear from you.
Honestly, the way you spoke, I am very happy that you people are speaking for us, because it doesn't make sense. You're coming from a local government and you can't stop a crisis in your own domain. It doesn't make sense. I'm a mother, I'm in the city town, but I am scared to sleep properly. I am scared because I don't understand. Is it that their hands are tied? Is it that they can't talk? Is it like I ask myself questions that I don't understand. The person in power, and you were voted by the people, and the people love you so much, and then you can't do anything for the people, especially when it comes to security. Oh, Kai, no, this is not, it's too much for us as a people. They kill people every day in their numbers. And I don't know who will answer for us. Who really will answer for us? I don't even know what to tell you. It's a pitiful situation. Very pitiful. We're in pain as a people. When I see, if you see the stories, you people don't get to hear it. It is us in the town. I cry virtually every day because it doesn't make sense. Thank you. Bye-bye.
tell you a little story. Some years back, I went to cover a massacre in a village called Dong Village, very close to the Solomon, the Jos Wildlife Park. So when I got into that village, I led my media team at the media I was working for, and you know, when we got in there, I was the one that was encouraging him that don't cry, you guys should not break down, don't cry, you know, just hold up. At the end of the day, by the time we were done with our filing, they were the one that was telling me that Mr. Okwe is okay, because I walked into that space too, and I saw how people were killed like chickens. You know, there's a way you sleep and you die and you don't wake up. You know, they call those on peaceful death. And no harm was done to your body. You understand what I'm trying to say? You just normal way, just sleep and you don't wake up. Maybe there was poison or there were health issues and all of that. But when you see people's body, people shot with AK-47 at close range, at close blank, the way they are, and I just tell myself, so there was a particular man, as at that time, he was an undergraduate of the University of Jos. He's physically impaired. He does not see at least, both eyes are blind. He has 3 members of his family: his wife, a 6-year-old child, and an 8-month-old baby. You know that they killed the wife, killed the 6-year-old child, killed the 8-month-old baby, and left the blind man alone. So the same community that was just a few meters from a military checkpoint was attacked from dusk till dawn, and nothing was done. And just while we were there, the convoy of the governor arrived with more than 40 cars, security, soldiers, police, DSS, everywhere. The same community where over 14 people were slaughtered. Not a single response from the security agencies. But when the governor was coming, he came, there was security everywhere. More than 100 vehicles were the convoy of the governor, including the commissioners, everybody, the GOC, the head of Operation Safe Haven, everybody was there when the governor came. But people in that community were slaughtered from dusk till dawn, and nothing was done about it. I have a friend that is a rice farmer, young Chiu. I'm sure he probably watched me this morning. He called me around 11 p.m. and said, okay, they are attacking our village. I couldn't do nothing. I reached out. While we were talking on the phone, too, I was hearing gunshots. So the next morning, I mobilized, we were there. You saw the way they slaughtered people like chickens. They said they will bring the perpetrators to book. I was in Barrack in Ladi a few years ago. A community was wiped out. 42 people. They said they will bring the perpetrators to book. Students were attacked in the state university, Plateau State University in Bokos. People were killed. Till today, they will bring the perpetrators to book. There's a village bordering Plateau State and Bauchi. They call that village Yelowa Zangam, very close to University of Jos. 42 people were killed. A pregnant woman's stomach was opened up. They killed the woman, brought out the baby, killed the baby. Till today, nothing was done about that.
The caller said, who will answer for us? Who will answer for us? For us women and our children and our husbands and our parents. Who will answer for us? Who can answer that question? Who in Plateau State can answer that question?
If you've never lived in Jos, you don't understand what is going on in that
who are going through this crisis at the moment, and who are asking, who can answer for us? A state where there is a governor, they are asking, who can answer for us? A state where there is a deputy governor, they are asking, who can answer for us? A state where we have our security, commissioner for police, they are asking, who can answer for us? It is frustrating, it is annoying, and it is irritating. And I will tender no apologies for anything that I say concerning this situation. Because they say he who wears the shoes knows where it pinches. This is a woman who has children and whose plight it is to protect her children to be there for her children, to be there for her husband. This is a woman speaking on behalf of her husband who is there, who should be protecting the family. But he cannot. She cannot protect her children either. She's asking, who will speak for us? This is a woman among many women, among many families who cry every single day. They have lost count of the number of times that they cry because they are asking, who will answer for us? The people of Plateau State should wake up, smell the coffee, and do what they need to do. If your governor is not functioning as a governor enough for you, the masses, please do what you need to do. We are limited. In this space, we are limited. We can only do what we can do. But you are the ones that you should rise up and say, no, no more of this. And I just think that there is some wickedness somewhere. Because rather than go and face people unprovoked, people who have not done anything to you, why don't you face the people who are not doing what they're supposed to do? You go and kill people who have no arms to fight you. You go and kill people who have not offended you in any way. You kill a family, you kill 7 out of a family of 8 and leave a blind man. Why didn't you kill him? If that was not sheer wickedness. How do you explain that? You kill children. You kill the youth. You kill the elderly. What do you want? Who will speak for these people? But I know that with time, if the leaders don't speak for their people, posterity will judge them. But God will arise and speak for you. Because if you ask me a question like this, and I really don't have the kind of answer that you want me to give you, there is one assurance that I have. God will rise up and speak for you. I think this is a total shame to the leadership of Plateau State. You need to, first of all, on your own, leave when the ovation is loudest and go and learn the ropes. Go to Abia State and ask the governor what he does and how he does it. Go to Lagos State and ask the governor what he does and how he does it. You need to go back to school to learn how to stand as a leader. It is often said that to lead is to die. When you took that mantle of leadership, you should have realized that you were supposed to be standing in the gap for people. Rather than these people lose their lives, it would have been honorable for you as leaders in Plateau State to lose your lives for these people. It is an unfortunate incident. It is one that we are condemning very strongly on this table. And our condolences go out to the families of those who grieve and those who mourn. And our prayers go out to the people who are asking, who will speak for us? God will speak for you. On that note, I would like to rest my case because I know that indeed God will speak for the people of Plateau State. And he will speak soon.
We're pressed for time, but let's just wrap it up real quick. I respect your position, but I always tell people that there's a place of God and there's a place of leadership. So there's a reason God gave us leaders to take care of us over here. There's a reason he gave us resources. So the God factor will play. Do you understand? God will speak for you, but you yourself, you have to speak out. You know these leaders. You know their homes. You speak to them. You relate with them. You engage them. You have commissioners representing you in the cabinet. You have House of Assembly member representing you from that zone. You have House of Representative member. You have Senator representing you. When these killings happen, if you go and look at the guardian that we did not read, they said Plateau senators reject condolence visits. Ask for action. That's the headline on the story that we do not. Every single time there's an action.
And then I would like to charge our caller, because I know she's watching this program. I don't think it would be a bad thing for you to start a petition on social media and get people to sign that petition, to buy into that petition, and you will eventually submit that petition to the Senate or the National Assembly. You know, because what we usually recommend is that you need to be in the fore of the struggle, and then people will support you. So it's time for people of Plateau State to rise up and take action. Stop crying. This is not a matter of cries. Just as Okwe said, you need to take action. You need to do something about it. And it is when you... Can you remember the Oyo State incident of kidnapping? When the people of Oyo State took to the streets and said, you know what? We are not going to school. Schools will not open in this state until these people are found. Guess what? The entire nation backed them up.
Yes.
And that's what will happen. This is your first time calling on the program. Perhaps this is the first time you're watching this show, but I would like for you to call us again and give us an update. But I want you to start this petition today. Thank you so much for calling. I would like to thank all our callers. But before we go, let's always do his...
Well, I will just continue to ask the right questions. Tomorrow is Friday, and today is the day 2 of the official campaigns for the presidential and the National Assembly elections that comes up in 149 days from today. I hope you continue to keep in touch with yourselves and note some of the things happening around you so that when you want to make your political decisions, you make the right one. My name is Okpeyemi. I don't know if they want to pick that call, but one side of my eyes is seeing that the phone line is ringing, but we have to go. I'll be back tomorrow, God willing, bright and early for Friday edition of the show. Stay safe.
Thank you very much, Okwe. Yes, that's the message that we need to pass today, that, you know, there are going to be campaigns, a lot of campaigns, deceitful ones, you know, genuine ones, you know, real ones. All sorts of campaigns will be out, you know. All manner of campaigns, unimaginable campaigns. But guess what? I think you should focus on your goal. Your eyes should remain on the goal. What is it you want from a good leader? That's the kind of leader that you should go to the polls to vote for. Don't get deceived by anybody. Go and vote your conscience. And just as Okwe said, he said there's a place for God. Yes, I believe that there's a place for God. And if the leaders have failed us, the leaders that, you know, that we have put, you know, our physical leaders have failed us. There's always one leader that will not fail us. He has his place, but he also can do, you know, unimaginable things. All right, that's the way we would like to round up today's edition of the Breakfast Express show. Kind of a bit disheartened, you know, with the fact that, you know, people seem to be helpless in Nigeria. And this is just one out of millions of people who's kind of helpless, you know. But, you know, the thing is, they say tough times never last. Tough people do. We need to get tough, you see, because nobody is going to help us. So we need to stand up and face it. Take the bull by the horn. Whether you're a male, whether you're female, it doesn't matter. Gender is no barrier to get what you want. You have to go for that thing that you want to get and make it happen in your circumstance. That's the life that we live. There's only one life. If we don't make it worth living, then it's useless. It's being wasted. Don't waste your life. That's my advice to you today. I'm not going to ask you to stand in front of the mirror. My one last parting word is don't waste your life. And don't waste the life that God has given you. Thank you for watching the program. My name is Tonwa Aderele. I hope to be here bright and early, just as Okwe says, tomorrow morning, and then we'll be doing the Friday edition. Until then, have yourselves a wonderful time, and, you know, go get yourself some good lunch or something. God bless you. See you tomorrow. By God's grace.